Good morning, yogis. Good morning. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to 7 a.m. Vinyasa. My name is Amanda, and I'll be leading this class this morning. You could find me teaching someday, soon, hopefully, at the North Studio. If I'm not teaching there, I'm usually practicing Southfield. So roll out a mat next time you see me, or come and take a class with me in North Studio. Love to see you. I mentioned grabbing a bolster and blocks. Totally no worries if you don't have those items. I just wanted to start in a little bit of a restorative shavasana. So you can have anything that looks like blocks and bolsters. You can kind of set it up in this way. I've added 2 blocks, kind of like we're setting up my own Barca lounger here. So these blocks are in this L shape, perpendicular to each other, and then I'm placing the bolster. If you don't have these items, you can use a pillow or something maybe, or you could just rest in your favorite resting pose. That could be Shavasana, even child's pose perhaps, if that's more comfortable for you. But go on ahead and set up these blocks. If you have blankets nearby, you might even, because I know we're not in the hot room, it's a little cold, so you might want to just take a blanket and, get snuggly. We're just going to do a little bit of a guided meditation just to get us started. Yeah. So go ahead and get your setup however you want it. Either lie back in Shavasana, or you can set up your bolster and blocks such as this. Bring your sacrum to the bottom of the bolster, laying back, feet at hips width, ankles, just opening our toes, just falling open, arms down by our sides, and just gently close your eyes in whatever resting pose you've chosen today. Starting to focus on your breath. I'm a therapist as well as a yoga teacher, and someone brought up a really amazing quote to me the other day that I wanted to share. This is a quote from Lori Deshane. She says, "We can't hate ourselves into a version of ourselves we can love." I thought that was a pretty powerful statement. I feel like at this point in quarantine, we're in a space where we are either living the best version of ourselves and we're doing all the things that we need to be doing for our bodies, or maybe we're hitting that snack cabinet a little too often because we're home, closer to it at work. Maybe you're like me and you're somewhere in the middle. But either way, we tend to go towards not loving ourselves and not providing ourselves with the same unconditional love that we provide to our families, to our friends, and things like that. So I invite you to focus this practice today on true self-love, unconditional love for yourself. So as you're laying back in the Shavasana, resting and relaxing and melting into the floor, melting into the bolster, melting into the pillow, melting into whatever pose you've just chosen for this morning, start to focus inward on how amazing your body is. Every little tiny cell in your body is making you an amazing, beautiful person. All the veins and capillaries that are running blood through your body, through your heart, making you a well-oiled machine. Focus on sending self-love, unconditional self-love, to every tiny little part of your body that you may not think of. Your left big toe, your right ankle, your left calf, your right knee, your thighs, those amazing muscles in the legs that hold you up day to day, that get you to do amazing things in yoga classes, while also providing functional movement to get your day-to-day needs met. your hips, your belly, your back, your left shoulder, your right elbow, your throat, your chin, your left earlobe, the right eye, the very tip top of your head. Can you feel that self-love for every single part of your body right now as it is today? Because you're amazing right now as you are today. And the more you show up on your mat, and the more you show up in life, trying your best, doing your best to be the best version of yourselves, the more amazing you'll become. So take a few breaths in this resting pose, filling yourself up with positive energy and positive thoughts. Positive thoughts about self. Give yourself a pep talk this morning and get your body ready to move. Now let's start to focus on coming into our Ujjayi breath if you haven't done so already. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Belly button in as you fill your lungs in through the nose, out through the nose. Filling your body with breath in through the nose, constricting the whisper muscles in the back of your throat as you exhale out through your nose. If you have that restorative yoga setup, the bolster and the blocks, slowly rise and remove that and just set those items to the side, coming back into your Shavasana. If you're in another resting pose other than Shavasana, let's all meet in Shavasana now. Laying on our backs. Inhale, bringing your knees up to your chest, hugging your knees in, bringing your forehead up to your knees, hugging everything in. Exhale, extend legs, arms out. Maybe hovering those ankles for just a few moments before you bring your heels down. Inhale, hugging up into a ball. Exhale, slowly releasing down. Inhale, hugging in. Slowly releasing down. And now one more, hug those knees in. And now feel the tension build throughout your body, starting from your toes, tensing up your feet, tensing up your ankles, your calves, your thighs, your belly, your chest, your arms, your hands, your face. Scrunch it up into a tight ball. And then exhale, release out. Let's bring our right knee up into our chest, up and around the rib cage, up into our armpit. Really hugging that right knee in. And now bring it across the body for that spinal twist, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, working on getting that knee down. Also, breathing into this twist as you inhale, exhaling and twisting. Let's bring that knee back to center, send that right heel up to the sky, clasping our hands behind our thigh, behind our calf. Maybe we're reaching up and grabbing a hold of our big toe with our peace fingers, feeling that stretch all the way up the back of the leg. And now let's bring that down. Let's send our right leg out, left knee in, hugging that left knee in, up and around the rib cage. Bringing that left knee across the body for that spinal twist, working on getting that knee closer and closer to the ground with every exhale. Maybe inhale and reaching that left arm out to the side. Exhale, bringing that left knee down closer to the mat, feeling that twist, working on getting the shoulders both on the ground. Breathing and twisting. And then let's bring it all back to center, hugging those knees into the chest. One more time. Let's start to rock and roll the length of our spine, taking maybe 3 or 4 rocks before we cross our ankles and roll over into our tabletop position. We've got our knees under our hips, our wrists under our shoulders. Let's take a couple of cat-cows. Inhale, eyes and tailbone to the sky. Exhale, arch the back, cat pose. Inhale, eyes and tailbone to the sky. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Bring that belly button way up into the spine. And now taking any intuitive movements, moving one breath per movement as you breathe through poses. All right, and now let's bring it back to a flat back. Popping our toes, we're going to push back to our downward facing dog. Let's take our dog for a walk, bending our knee right, left. Taking a breath in through our nose. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Release. Let's walk our feet to our hands, meeting in that forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Rising up, extended mountain pose. Bring our hands to heart center. Gently close your eyes, and let's set an intention for our practice today. We got a good start with our bit of a little guided meditation in the beginning. I encourage you to choose self-love as your intention today, but anything that rings true for you this morning, make it so. Inhale, arms up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward, reach for your toes. Halfway lift, inhale. Stepping back to your high plank position, lowering down to your knees if necessary. From here, we'll lower all the way down to our bellies. Setting up for our cobra, hands directly under our shoulders, the tops of our feet on the mat. On your next inhale, pushing those feet into the mat so hard your knees lift up. Just lift your shoulders using the muscles in your core and your back. No weight in the hands. Lift those shoulders up. Exhale down. We're going to add a little bit more weight into the hands now. So inhale, pushing a little bit into the hands. Inhale, those shoulders up. Exhale down. Let's take maybe 50% of the weight into the hands. Pushing into the mat with your feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. And now we'll take it to our upward facing dog. Inhale up. Pausing here. Shins, knees, thighs, everything up off the mat. And then belly button into spine as you roll over your toes back to your downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Fill up. Empty. Walk, step, or jump. Feet to your hands. Meeting in that forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Rising up, extending mountain pose, reach up, look up. Let's take a back bend, hands to our sacrum, look back, go back, pushing those hips forward. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale, step back, jump back, moving through your vinyasa to meet a downward facing dog. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog, and we take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, exhale, fill up, empty, walk, step, or jump, feet to your hands, halfway lift, fold, extended mountain pose, rise on the inhale, reach up, look up, exhale, fold forward, halfway lift, step back, jump back, move through your vinyasa, lowering down on your exhale, inhaling to rise, downward facing dog. As you exhale in, we take a breath in through the nose and a breath out. Inhale, exhale, filling the lungs, empty. Let's lift our right heel, to the sky. Lift that up, bend your knee, open up your hip, taking some hip circles one way, and then the other perhaps. Making those circles as big or as small as you would like, and let's bring the right foot down to meet the left. Left foot rises, bending the knee, opening up that hip, taking those hip circles one way, and then the other. Bringing that left foot down to meet the right in our downward facing dog. We're going to come out to our dolphin, just come down onto our forearms, working on building up shoulder strength. Hanging out in this dolphin. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more, you can work on walking your feet to your elbows, working on getting a flat back. This is prep for forearm balance. Building that strength in the shoulders is one of the first things that needs to happen. Let's walk our feet back, popping back up to our downward facing dog. Take a breath in, breath out. Inhale, exhale, fill up, empty, walk, step, or jump, feet to your hands. Halfway lift, inhale, hands to shins perhaps. Exhale, fold. Our toes are together to touch, heels slightly apart. Sinking our hips as we rise on an inhale into our chair pose. Keeping those hips low, thinking about our belly button into our spine. This pelvis is tilted. Our tailbone descends, our pelvis lifts. Arms up overhead. No lonely thumbs as our fingers are together. Maybe we bring the palms of our hands together, gazing up at those thumbs. Sinking in to this chair. Grounding through the heels, lifting the toes. Breathing as we inhale, reaching those fingertips forward. Exhale a little lower into our chair. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sink. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Reach for your toes. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back, jump back, move through your vinyasa. Meeting a downward facing dog is the goal. Using the breath to move you through these poses. Inhaling as you rise up to upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog on the exhale. And as soon as we get to our downward facing dog, our right heel rises and we swing it forward for warrior one. That left heel coming down at a 45-degree angle as we inhale and rise up, warrior one. Pausing here to make sure we've got this pose down correctly. Our right knee is over our right ankle, 90-degree bend in that front knee. We don't want it behind. We don't get as much benefit. We don't want it in front. Do some damage directly over the ankle. We're bringing this left hip forward, this right hip back. An inner rotation of the left thigh brings that hip forward. Arms up overhead. And holding here for a few breaths. Making the muscle memory to remember exactly as we are in this pose. Maybe we're inhaling and reaching those fingertips up. Exhaling, taking a little back bend. Inhale to the mat, moving through our vinyasa. Perhaps we lift a leg this time as we lower down through our chaturanga. Inhale to rise. Downward facing dog on the exhale. Left heel rises, bringing it forward for warrior one. Right heel spinning down at a 45-degree angle, inhaling as we rise up. Checking in. 90-degree bend in that left knee. That left knee tracking over to the baby toe. We could just peek, look, we could just see the left toe peeking out, arms up overhead. Working on getting those hips straight. Breathing. Inhale and reach. Exhale, back bend. To the mat, move through your flow. Lifting that left leg perhaps as you lower down. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Filling up. Empty. Feet to your hands. Walk, step, or jump. Halfway lift. Hold. Toes together to touch. Heels slightly apart. Sinking your hips into your chair pose. One breath, one movement this time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Step back, jump back. Move through your vinyasa, meeting in your downward facing dog. However you would like to get there. Just breathe through these poses and make it happen. As soon as you hit your downward facing dog, right leg rises, step it forward, warrior one. Rising up on that inhale, big breath in. To the mat, chaturanga, move through your flow, meeting in your downward facing dog. Maybe you lift a leg this time as you lower down. As soon as you get to your downward facing dog, left leg rises, bring it forward, warrior one on the left. Inhaling as you rise up. Exhaling back to the mat, sitting that left leg back, maybe keeping that lifted as you lower down. Inhale to rise, downward facing dog on the exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Fill up, empty. Walk, step, or jump. Feet to your hands, halfway lift. Hold. Utkatasana, sinking those hips, rising up. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as we twist, bringing our left elbow to our right knee. Our knees stay in line with each other. We're twisting from the torso, not the hips, which is where we can get out of whack. Seems like it makes it easier to get our elbow to our knee, but we want the proper alignment. So sinking down, hands to heart center, left elbow to right knee, twisting from the torso, keeping those knees in line, and breathing through this twist. Inhaling as we lengthen our spine, exhaling as we really push that left elbow into the knee, pulling that right shoulder away, working on those hands back to heart center. If side crow is in your practice, feel free to work on that. Bringing your hands down, we're going to make a shelf with our elbows and our chaturanga arms, bringing our right thigh onto that shelf and kicking up. Holding in our side crow. I always challenge you to try something that you think is impossible to see what happens. Bringing it back to our triangle, our prayer twist, and folding forward. Bringing our fingers to our toes, our peace fingers to our big toes, and pulling your head down towards the mat. Really feeling those biceps bulging as you pull your head down. This is a moment to take a breath and a break, but it's a great dynamic stretch that you can feel from the backs of your legs up to your low back perhaps. So feel that pull. Releasing those toes, making sure our toes are together to touch, heels are slightly apart. Sinking into our chair pose to twist to the other side, hands coming to heart center, right elbow to left knee this time, twisting from the torso, not the hips. We're going to bring that right knee to our left our right elbow to our left knee. Wow. And really start to twist open. If you're working on your side pro on this side, same thing. And always try it. One side is always stronger to start out with. And then once you figure it out on that one side, you start to figure it out on the other side. So making that shelf with your chaturanga arms and popping up into your side pro. Bringing it back to our twisted chair. And releasing. Let's take gorilla pose, stepping on the palms of our hands. Tickling our wrist creases with our toes. Elbows bending back towards our shins, pulling your head. Down, down, down. And let's release those toes. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Rising up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Step back, jump back, moving through your vinyasa. Lowering all the way down, perhaps. Inhale to rise. Downward facing dog. Let's bring our right foot forward, warrior one. That left heel spins down. Inhale, reach up. Opening up to warrior two. Reversing that warrior, sending that right palm up to the sky. Take our extended side angle. Reaching that left hand over. Options here for your half bind. Perhaps if you feel like you've got the half bind, maybe you want to try for that full bind. And if this full bind is just so easy for you this morning, maybe you want to try to pop up into that bird of paradise. Maybe. Birdie's bringing on down. Meeting in that extended side angle. Coming back to our warrior two. Reverse that warrior. And now let's cartwheel our hands to the mat, moving through our vinyasa. Lowering down on your exhale. Inhaling to rise. Downward facing dog, belly button in the spine. As we push back. Left heel rises, bring this left foot forward for warrior one. Opening up to warrior two. Reversing that warrior, that left palm to the sky, feeling that stretch. And then bringing it down for our extended side angle. Options on this side, half bind, full bind, bird of paradise. Just because you failed on one side doesn't mean you'll fail on the other. Birdie's bringing on down. You just never know. That's my weaker side. Back up to warrior two. Reverse that warrior. Cartwheel your hands to the mat. Move through your vinyasa. Maybe you're lifting a leg through these chaturangas. Do chaturanga push-ups, adding on or subtracting anything that doesn't serve you this morning as we meet in our downward facing dog. Let's lift our right heel. Bend your knee and open up your hip. Option to flip our dog, bringing that right heel down. Heels are about hips width distance, rising those hips. Coming back to our three-legged dog. And now let's bring our right elbow to our right knee and kick it back. Right knee to nose and kick it back. Right knee to left elbow. Extend that right foot out, opening up to that fallen star. And then bring it down, sending that right foot back up. Three-legged dog. Right foot down. Left heel rises, bending the knee, opening up that hip, taking this opportunity to flip your dog if you would like. Heels, hips with distance. Sending those hips up to the sky. Opportunity for early wheel if you've got it. And now bringing it back to our three-legged dog. We're going to bring our left knee to our left elbow and kick it back. Left knee to nose and kick it back. Left knee to our right elbow. Extend that left leg out. Opening up, fallen star, easing up. And now bring that left foot up, three-legged dog. And that returns to the earth. We're going to take a breath in through our nose. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Fill up. Empty. Let's walk our feet to our hands. Halfway lift. Hold. Rising up, extended mountain pose. Arms down by our side, Tadasana. Setting up for our balance series. Starting with our eagle. Grounding into our left leg. The four corners of the foot. And when I say four corners, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. The toes have nothing to do with it. No gripping the toes with the mat. That's when we start to get those foot cramps. So grounding down, making sure we're really pressing into the ball mount of the left foot. Now we're going to take our right knee over. Working on the one-day Sunday goal of getting that toe wrapped around the calf. We're going to take our right arm under. In this class, we bring our elbows up to shoulder height. Belly button to spine, tailbone tucks, pelvis lifts. Feel that adjustment. Shoulder blades in towards your spine, hugging everything into the midline. Breathing, using the breath to sink deeper into this eagle. And now release. Opposite side, rounding into the right foot. Arms up overhead. Left arm under. Left leg over. If the balance is eluding you today, no worries. Sometimes they're like that. You can always kickstand. If you're not getting your toe wrapped around your calf this morning, no worries. It'll come. Elbows up to shoulder height. Belly button into spine. Feel that pelvis lift as the tailbone descends. Sinking in to this eagle. Exhale, release, arms up overhead. We're in our extended mountain pose. Adding on to our eagle pose here, grab a block. We're going to come into a balancing half moon. So if you prefer having a block in your balancing half moon, go ahead and grab it and be ready. So grounding into our left foot, right leg over, right arm under, sinking into our standing leg. Exhale, elbows to knees. Unraveling that top leg, sending that back. Opening up our arms, Dekasana airplane. And now we're going to open up to our balancing half moon. Opening up the hip. Sending that right onto the sky, left hand perhaps to a block. Working on moving the gaze up to your right hand. And then let's return back to center. And can we bring that right arm, right hand to the block and open up for a reverse? I don't know if I can. And let's return to center, bring that right foot down, meeting that forward fold. Halfway lift, fold. Rise up into extended mountain pose. Eagle on the left arm under, left leg over, sinking in to that standing leg, grounded through the four corners of the feet, that right toe mound pushing into the earth. Feeling that pelvis lift. Inhale. Exhale, take your elbows to your knees. Unraveling into that bound warrior three. This left hip down. Opening up our arms to Vinyasa airplane. Opening up the hip, bringing that right hand down to a block perhaps. Opening up to our balancing half moon. Maybe taking that gaze up to the left hand. And now maybe, bringing this left hand down to the block, that left hip down towards the mat, and reversing. And then left foot comes down, meaning in that forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Rising up, extended mountain pose. Arms down by our side, Tadasana. Nice work. We'll come into our dancer pose now. Rounding into our standing foot. We're going to bring our right elbow into our right hip crease. We are bringing our right foot up, right hand inside of the right foot. Left arm up. Inhale. Holding here. We're all in a dancer right here. As we work on feeling more and more stable, really working that left toe mound down to the ground, feeling the stability build in that foot, we can hang out right here. If we're feeling stable, then we can start to kick. We're starting to make this back bend happen as we kick. We're not leaning forward yet. As our toes rise up over our head, then we can start to lean forward. And then you can give me a high five. Hi. And now let's release down and switch sides. Rounding into that right foot. Let's bring our left foot up. Left hand inside of our left foot. Right arm rises. Holding right here in this beautiful, perfect dancer. No need to move anywhere else. If you'd like a little more expression of the pose and you're feeling stable, then start the kick. Not blocking out the knee joint. Leaning forward. Excellent. And let's bring it down. Tadasana. Nice work, everybody. Dancer pose, or not dancer, tree pose is next. I am doing amazing with my cues this morning, aren't I? Self-love. Okay, we're going to start in our tree. Feet together, grounding through this left foot, bringing our right foot where it is most comfortable today. Kickstanding right here on our calf, maybe up on our thigh. And then hands at heart center. Now our belly button is in, our tailbone is tucking, our pelvis is lifting. Hands in the heart center just to help in the beginning build stability. Pushing hand into hand. And if you are feeling that stability and you want to take your hand somewhere new, you can take them somewhere new. Maybe you take those palms up to the sky. Maybe you bring those reverse praying hands to the nape of your neck. You can take cow-face arms. Reverse prayer hands behind you at your sacrum. Or maybe just arms out to your side with the mudra. Whatever feels good to you. Take that option. Making sure we're not gripping with the toes. We're not locking out the knee joints. Softness in the joints as we ground down to rise up and release. Excellent. Shaking out that left leg. Grounding through the right leg now. Choosing your retrieve for the morning. On your ankle, on your calf, on your thigh. Hands into heart center. When you're feeling stable, when you're feeling ready, take your hands somewhere new. Maybe gently close your eyes to test your balance. Feeling that extra toggle perhaps. Just noticing how much we rely on our eyes. Balance. Now let's bring it down. Beautiful, everyone. Excellent. Arms up overhead. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back, jump back, moving through your vinyasa, meeting in your downward facing dog, however you would like to get there, adding in those chaturanga push-ups, or simply just pushing back to your downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're going to lift our right heel and bring it forward for our crescent lunge. Inhaling as we rise. Opening up to warrior two. Reversing our warrior. Flowing through a little extended side angle as we exhale, sitting that left arm up. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. Now let's cartwheel these arms up, coming into our goddess squat here. And from our goddess squat, inhale and rise up. Exhale down. Inhale to rise. Exhale down. Inhale to rise. Exhale down. Let's take it back to our warrior two, to the front, twisting our right foot out. And now let's take our hands down to the mat, coming down on our left knee. Setting up for our lizard. Right knee at that 90-degree bend. Using the block if necessary to come down onto your forearms. Working on getting your forearms all the way down to the mat. Maybe even using the block, maybe two. Just to prop yourself up here. However you want to feel this really intense stretch in the left hip. So either using the blocks to lift you up or the blocks can help relax into it. Try to keep your right knee and your right shoulder bound together. Taking your option in your lizard. Melting into this and breathing. And now let's inhale and rise up. We're going to plant our left hand, send our right arm to the sky, taking that twist. Maybe we're popping that foot, grabbing hold of that cattail, reaching back. Releasing that cattail, sending this right arm on the outside of our right foot. Setting up to flow through our half splits. Full splits is in your practice. Go for it. Exhaling back, we keep our right foot planted. Inhale forward. Exhale back, maybe we pop our toes. Inhale forward. Exhale back, yogi's choice with that right foot, whichever you like best. Inhale forward. One more. And reach up. Now let's pop our left toes, lift our right knee. Oh, coming up to our warrior one. Opening to warrior two. Back to that goddess squat. Sinking down. And now staying in this squat, let's bring our hands to our knees as we dip our right shoulder down, then our left shoulder, right shoulder, and then left. Now let's rise up to our goddess squat. Inhale to rise. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale through the nose, down. One more, lift. And down. And now let's take warrior two to the back of your mat, pivoting that left foot forward, taking that warrior two, sending that left arm up to the sky, flowing through these extended side angles. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. One more. Exhale, extend, and then take these hands down to the mat, coming down onto our right knee, setting up in this low lunge, preparing for our lizard. If you use blocks on one side, if you want them again on this side, again, popping them up, helping you pop up to feel that great stretch, or perhaps using the block to come down on your forearms, eventually coming all the way down to the mat on those forearms, melting into your lizard. Now rising up, we plant our right hand, send our left arm up. Maybe we grab a hold of that cattail on this side. Gazing over that left shoulder. And now let's release, flowing through our half splits in this way. If full splits in your practice, go for it on this side. And if not, or you just want to, or you just feel like flowing through these splits with me, join me. As we exhale back, keeping that left foot planted, inhale forward. Exhale back, pop those toes. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Now use choice with the toes. One more. And now let's pop those right toes. Rising up toward warrior one. Opening to warrior two. Coming back to our goddess squat. Back to our warrior two with the right foot forward. Then cartwheel those hands to the mat. Moving through your vinyasa, meeting in a downward facing dog. Using the breath to move you. Pushing back to downward facing dog on your exhale. Our right heel rises. Bend your knee and open up your hip. Bring that right foot down. Left heel rises. Bend your knee and open up that hip. And bring it down. Let's inhale. Exhale. Fill up. Empty. Big breath in. Release. Lower down to that dolphin pose. Lower down to those forearms. Holding here for a few breaths. Maybe you walk your feet forward a little bit, working on building that shoulder strength. And now let's drop our knees. Coming up, setting up for our camel. Coming to standing on our knees. Popping these toes. We're going to flow through some camels first before we do the real thing. So let's start with our hands on our thighs. Inhale our right arm up and reach back, tapping your right heel as you lift your left arm to the sky. Exhale down. Left hand rises, tap that left heel, right arm up to the sky. Exhale down. Right hand, right heel. Exhale down. Left hand, left heel. Exhale down. Now let's twist it up a little bit, taking the right hand to our left heel, feeling that twist, gazing up and down. And our left hand to our right heel, gazing up and down. Inhale, one more. Right hand taps the left heel. Bring it down. One more. Left heel, left hand taps the right heel. And bring it down. Now let's take our hands to our sacrum to prepare for our camel. We've got our toes popped. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, these hips are pushing forward. As you look back, go back. We're not dumping into the spine. We're really rising up, everything lifting up. As we look back, go back. If you can see the back wall, you may be ready to reach down and grab a hold of your heels. If you're grabbing a hold of your heels, your thumbs are inside of your heels. The fingers on the outside of the feet, your thumbs on the inside, pushing your heels open with the thumbs. Feel that chest opening as you look back. Go back, hips forward. Breathing. Releasing and letting go. Slowly rise. Sinking your hips to your heels, hands on your knees, gently closing your eyes. Allowing whatever stress and nonsense will just swirl up into you, let it go. Let's take a counter pose to our camel, bringing our heels on the outside of our hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen. We're taking our C grip, our little Lego man hands, into our imaginary back pockets, hooking our heels. Inhale, lift and lengthen, belly button into spine. Exhale, the top of your head to the mat, your forehead touching your knees. Inhale, exhale, fold forward, rounding your spine, lifting your heels, your hips off of your heels. And breathing. And rising up. Excellent. Let's walk our hands out, coming into a child's pose for just a moment. You can keep your knees together or take your knees wide, whichever suits you. Wherever you are, extending your hands out in front of you, pushing into your hands, and let's push back to our downward facing dog. Our right heel rises. Let's bring this right shin forward, setting up for our resting half pigeon. Right shin parallel to the short side of the mat, sinking down. Using a block or a pillow or anything that you have is necessary if your right hip is feeling too far off the mat. Maybe we're taking that figure 4 if resting half pigeon doesn't feel awesome to us this morning, where we are lying on our back, taking our right ankle onto our left knee and pulling our left knee towards us. You're getting a very similar stretch here. Otherwise, we're in our resting half pigeon. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling, releasing down, melting into the mat. Using a block or pillow if necessary under your forehead. And breathe. Inhale, as you slowly rise, we're going to bring this left leg around, setting up for our fire log pose. Stacking left shin on top of right shin, left ankle on top of knee, left knee on top of ankle. If you feel like we have too much of a gap between our knee and our ankle, you can always take a block and pop it right there. Otherwise, we're in our fire log pose, arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, walking those fingertips forward, feeling that stretch in the left hip, feeling the stretch in the back perhaps, walking as far forward as it feels good to you, getting the stretch that you want from this pose. And now let's walk those fingertips up. And we're going to drop our left shin to the mat, sending our right leg back, setting up for our pigeon on this side. Be mindful that one side might be different than the other, more difficult or easier. If you need a block under your left hip, go ahead and place it there now. Otherwise, exhale, fold forward. Resting your head on the mat. Going back to your intention from the beginning of class, focusing in on that guided meditation about self-love that we discussed in the beginning. Loving every part of your body as you melt into the pose. Inhale as you slowly rise. If you don't want to, which I don't, that was feeling pretty good. Let's bring our right shin on top of our left shin this time, setting up for firelight on the other side. Knee wrinkle, ankle over knee, arms up overhead, folding forward on that exhale as you walk those fingertips forward, feeling that stretch up the right hip. Now let's release, walking those fingertips up. We'll extend our legs out in front of us, setting up for our forward fold. Arms up overhead, identifying your peace fingers, wrapping those peace fingers around the big toes, keeping a flat back as you pull, maybe giving yourself 2 thumbs up here, looking at your thumbs, pulling your eyebrows to your thumbs, bending your elbows to your shins, keeping that back flat, feeling this amazing stretch from your heels all the way up your spine, honestly, pulling down. And exhale, release. Let's bring our left foot into our right thigh. Arms up overhead, making that basket grip with your fingers, taking that basket grip around the toes, all 10 fingers wrapped around the toes, and then we're going to take our forehead to our knee, Janu Sirsasana, forehead to knee pose. However you need to make that happen, take your forehead to your knee. If you have to bend your knee a lot, that's fine, that's the pose. And what's necessary, and slowly, perhaps, if you wanted to, you will be able to stretch that leg all the way down, get your forehead to your knee. And let's rise up and switch sides. We're bringing our right foot into our left thigh. Arms up overhead, making that basket grip around the toes, all 10 fingers clasped together, holding onto those toes, taking your forehead to your knee, bending your knee as much as you need to make that connection happen. And rise up, extend that leg out, rolling onto your backs. Coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana. We started the practice here, we began the practice here, we end the practice here. Closing your eyes, relaxing, and letting go. Take as much time as you need in the Shavasana, focusing on all of the good work that we just did. Focusing on your intention that you set for your practice today. Take that with you off the mat into your day, into your life. You're amazing just the way you are. No need to change. In yoga, we say, the light in me sees and recognizes the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.